talk to my grandparents. I never had a grandmother, and my last grandfather died when I was 8. So how could I talk to my grandparents? And then they said, well, get as many certificates that you can. Now at that time, which was early 80s, the certificates only cost $1. Now you're paying $18, $20, depending on what city you want them in. My mother's mother died when she was 4 months old. I didn't know her at all because my mother didn't even know her, you know. So, well, I guess I'll take her first. When I got the birth certificate, she was a male. Her name was Eugenie. Somebody left the I out. You get Eugene. And that was in Lowell. And I went in to the clerk. And she had 5 children born in Lowell. No man ever had 5 children in Lowell in 1800s, right? He said, my records are correct, and he walked out of the room. Those people are supposed to help you. He was no help. The marriage record was correct. There wasn't any burial. I said, good Lord, is this the way it's going to go all the time? I got a hold of the cemetery. They said, we don't have nobody by that name in the cemetery. So I wrote him a letter and I said, I've been to my grandmother's grave every year. She's buried beside my grandfather. Oh, we found your grandmother. Only she was buried as Eugenie. That's the undertaker's mistake. He didn't find out what her name was, so he buried her by her nickname. I said, good Lord. If you're looking for Eugenie, and there's Jeannie right there, doesn't that ring a bell? It didn't ring a bell in the cemetery.
So this was your introduction to genealogy.
So then I went for my other grandmother. She had 4 boys. My father was the youngest, and the oldest boy and my father always disagreed on what her name was. So they asked me. I said, well, if you want to know the truth, you're both right. She was born Mary Elizabeth. When my father was born, she signed her name Minnie Lizzie. How can anybody in their right mind want to be called Minnie Lizzie? That was 2 nicknames, you know, Mary and Elizabeth.
This is the craziness of family genealogy.
So I finally got a book on her family, which was Fisk. I grew up on Fisk Street, lived in a Fisk house, and I found this book that went right back to 1300 in England. And I got all kinds of names. Well, finally, genealogy is paying off. But I'll tell you, I found out that John Adams and John Quincy Adams were my cousins. Also, Lucille Ball. I had a great-great-grandmother, three grands, whose name was Lucy Ball. And they told me in Boston, that's Lucille Ball's family. You're her cousin. So that's what really got me interested. There was all these people I found that I was related